Welcome to week 7 of MPAI 600 here at Georgetown University School of Continuing Studies. Just announcements. So Sunday, 1 March, just upcoming on the calendar, that's the big day. That's when your finals due, final papers due, and the Zoom session. We'll have that night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you're in groups 4 through 6. So that's, I want you to start focusing on that day and start thinking about wrapping this course up with those requirements in mind. So your final paper is final and the Zoom session for groups 4 through 6. I'll also have a job talk that day, the last day. So if you're not in the Zoom session and you're not crashing on your papers, go ahead and try and attend that. See if you can make it. I'm going to talk careers and work in the IC and other areas going forward. And then the last module, including the final, I've already released. So you should be good to go, knowing exactly what you're trying to do for that last session 2 weeks from now and that last final 2 weeks from now. So please, I know we have one module now, and next week is kind of optional, but start looking at that stuff today now so you can start getting your head wrapped around how you want to present those last 2 papers. So I think everyone's gotten their paper too. There's 1 or 2 stragglers out there that I'm still marking, but for the most part, they were pretty decent. Just some issues. Sorry, I don't know how that happened, but the big issue is specific examples. Don't just say, we had bad collection methods in the run-up to the Iraq War. Walk the dog from curveball to the analysis that was brought out in curveball and to how that went from the collection to the analysis to Colin Powell's speech. Walk that dog for me. If you're going to say, groupthink was responsible for the Pearl Harbor, the Yom Kippur attack, tell me where the senior leaders in the Israeli military were guilty of groupthink. That's what I'm looking for. I'll also say is that you have to tell me how whatever indicator, whatever groupthink, poor collection, what have you, you have to tell me would it have made a difference. Hint on your final, which is one of the questions is about Russia interference in our election. You can't just say, the intel was bad, the intel was incomplete, blah, blah, blah. You have to tell me where in the cycle risk or countermeasures could have been taken that would have reduced risk. You've got to lay that out for me. Hint. All right, so be as specific as possible. Passive voice, I think a lot of people think they know what passive voice is, but they don't. Just the first sentence, the boy kicked the ball, that is a passive because it's the boy, the second sentence is passive. The ball is the direct object, was kicked is the verb, or it was a verb by the boy. So the boy is the subject, was kicked is the verb, ball is the direct object. And this is an active sentence, this is passive. I would, again, especially if you're writing for impact, I would go through your sentences like you're in an 8th grade English class. Subject, verb, direct object, so you know what's passive, what is not, and try and eliminate the passive sentences. Also try and limit prepositions. You don't want too many prepositions in your sentence because it makes your writing that much more choppy. So please use the Writing Center. Use the Writing Center. You're paying for that resource. Use it. They're very good. Don't wait till your writing is last minute. Use the Writing Center so you can eliminate some of these writing idiosyncrasies. No laundry lists. I said this over and over again. I say indicators and causes. Well, some of you did, there's 15 indicators for the Pearl Harbor attack. That's not what I want. Tell me what you think is the most important indicator that could have tipped off the U.S. forces, or they should have been aware. Causes. Again, people gave me lists of the problems with the Iraq WMD cause. I was specific. I don't want that. What do you think is the primary cause, and how did that cascade through the rest of the collection cycle? Anyone can list out stuff. That takes no analytical effort. But determining what is the primary cause, backing up that with logic and reason, and showing how it cascaded through whatever process you're talking about, That is a sign of being an intelligence analyst. That's a sign of being an intellectually astute person. So no laundry lists. And then show me how the failure contributed to the intelligence. Again, it kind of dovetails with the last one. The best theses that came out would say the primary cause for the Iraq Intel WMD failure was improper collection. Damn. That's your thesis. Now you've told me what the primary objective is. Primary cause for the Yom Kippur War was mirror imaging at the top levels of the senior Israeli military leadership. That's a decisive variable. And again, tell me what the decisive variable is. So previous week's review, lone wolves, I didn't cover it. I'm actually going back a week here. Just the gap between indicators and arrestable activity. You're going to have a final question about lone wolves. It's going to look remarkably like the period question, but you'll have to answer, as I mentioned in many of your discussion points, what happens when we know someone's on the radar? And a lot of people said this, hey, we need artificial intelligence, open source investigators to figure out, who's on the radar of law enforcement. It's all fine. Now what happens when they're on the radar, but not enough is done to arrest them? Or there's not enough data to arrest them, but they're still a threat. What do we do? That's what I want you to tell me. Again, this goes along with that piece. Some people have mentioned gun control, those types of issues. If you're going to say that, you got to be, there's going to be a significant response to that. So please have that addressed. Going on kind of the week 6 CompStat, was it the decisive factor that led to the decline in crime from the 1980s, 90s, 2000s to the present day? People have said, yes, it was a focusing factor for police authorities, but then you had the altered reports. And whenever you see this, whenever you have incentives, monetary incentives or what have you, for declines in crime, people juice the numbers, right? You might have less arrests because you don't want to have a spike in arrests under your tenure. You might look the other way when crime does not occur in your neighborhood, but the networks that support the crime are in your neighborhood. Or you might just alter reports. That happened, as you saw in the reading. That happens, teaching incentives. Here in D.C., where you had erasure marks for standardized tests because the teacher's pay was dependent on those erasure marks or on the scores of those tests. So that happens. And then, again, looking from a social science perspective, you saw the decline in crime, and a lot of people say it was CompStat, better policing. But there are other factors. CompStat was not uniformly introduced throughout the country, but there were declines in crime in other cities. Broken windows was not introduced, but there were worldwide. But there were declines in crime in every westernized country, every developed country. So the question is, what are those other factors that led to the decline in crime? Was criminal intelligence, law enforcement part of it, or were there larger demographic factors, larger socioeconomic factors? Steven Pinker, he has argued that we've just got better civilized, that we realize that crime doesn't pay. Again, I'll let you decide. And then finally, the CCTV documentary, great documentary on the Boston Marathon. The question is, can that be used as a criminal intelligence tool, as a preventative tool throughout CCTV or the other forensic methods, or is it just one of those cool things we get to only do if it's a high-profile case like the Boston Marathon? Think about that as new technologies get fielded, as we talk about facial recognition, we have CCTV, widespread camera. How applicable is that? Would something like we have, not even just in London, but in China, where we're using mass facial recognition or signing people scores and indicators to prevent crime, is that something would be acceptable in the United States, and would that be a criminal crime fighting tool? I'll let you decide. And then week 7 preview, again, this is for the business intelligence side of the house. Great interview from Dr. Gilad, who's essentially the founder of business intelligence. And as you're going through it, I know people are going to be focusing on the papers and the final. So I understand, please at least go through the lecture and get through some of the reading, applicable reading. as much as possible. And you might, one, if you're not in the business intel track, there might be issues that get you thinking in different aspects. It also might push you into the business intel track. Georgetown now has a more advanced, robust business intelligence analytics courses for your perusal, for your disposal, in future semesters. So you might be interested in it. So please, again, take the GLOT interview seriously and look at businesses that operate in the same space. Ask why CVS dominates versus Rite Aid, or Best Buy defeated Circuit City. Why did that happen? Why did one succeed despite having essentially the same products, same supply chains, and others fail? What was the decisive variable? And then just think applications to national security issues if you want to go in that perspective as well. So again, I look forward to any issues that you have. If you have questions, please let me know. Go through the final and the final paper now, so we can talk on the phone. I just talked on the phone with some folks this past weekend. I'm not averse to having a phone call, Skype session, what have you, so that we can to answer your questions on the paper. Don't wait till the last minute though. So if there's questions or issues, again, please let me know. And for most of you, I'll see you in 2 weeks.